Having trouble with your garage door? Problem solved. Call Direct Service Overhead Garage Door Company. We're your go-to team for garage door repair, new garage doors, openers, and more. We offer same-day service. We're always ready when you need us. Best of all, you can book your appointment online or talk to a live operator 24/7. No machines, no waiting. So whether it's a broken spring or a brand new garage door, trust the local experts at Direct Service Garage Doors. Call us today or visit directserviceoverhead.com.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome. It's Wednesday night, 6:30 p.m. Tusk Talk with Ty. We do not have a name for this show yet. We're working on one. I think we've got a couple. We've got a couple of names in the bowl. We're trying to stir around, get a pretty good idea of what we want to name this thing. But we've got Monday Night Lights live on Monday night at 6:30, and then of course we do this bad boy right here with no name. Make sure you, again, as you're coming in, make sure you like, share, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. If you're new, definitely hit the subscribe. I mean, obviously hit the subscribe button, but also make sure you hit the notification bell. Hit the notification bell. That way you know as soon as we're live, well, you're caught up, right? You're here. So this is a loaded evening. We're starting off now. And in 30 minutes, we're going to bring on the Pigpen Collective, the individual responsible for that, who's already kind of made his rounds on some other, he's on Courtney Mims on the TV down in Little Rock. I mean, he's doing his thing. This is the way it works, man. You're trying to get something together, do the media rounds. Why not? Whether that be the big TV stations at Little Rock or the fat guy on YouTube, the Tusk Talk guy, as I've been called before. All right. So we've got that at 7 p.m. So, that'll be cool. And then, so that'll go until, 7:30 roughly. And then 8 p.m. for Patreon supporters only, Courtney Mims is going to get us caught up. We've had a little bit of movement in the coaching. We've had some stuff happen and not really, just some movement, right? And then just overall just getting caught up on the rest of the coaching search, just getting updated on all that. So yeah. What's up, Kim? How you doing, man? Hello, everyone. If y'all haven't joined the Discord, meet a bunch of passionate Hog fans. Yeah, that's right. There you go. If you're feeling extra generous, join Patreon. There you go. Minimum $4. I see that. Wednesday night hype. That's what I'm talking about, baby. All right. So yeah, we're loaded down. Yeah, really nothing important. You're quite the guy there, Hog Wild. Nothing important. Well, according to you, my friend. All right, let's get started off. We had Dan Mullen was asked about, distractions and just what's going on with him at UNLV.
Distraction.
I'll make it. You want me to do that? I'm going to be the head coach of UNLV next year. I'll be here. I'm not going anywhere.
Have you said that to Eric Clark for your players yet?
I said it to the players.
This guy, by the way, the guy's, I don't know how clear that sound, if you can hear the guy asking questions. The guy sounds like he's having a panic attack. I think he started off because the audio or the video, you only get this portion because it's off Twitter, but he's talking about something about a distraction, and you hear him now like this dude is he sounds like he's having a full-on panic attack here. Well, you said, what? Calm down, man. It's all good. Here's Dan Mullen on the rest.
I told them that. I said, good or bad, right? It's a transfer portal world. I said, don't get all excited. Think I might go somewhere that you think is like a better place. I'm going to be here. You guys are stuck with me.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Is Dan Mullen? Yeah, I know. Coaches have pulled this stuff before. I'm here. You're stuck with me. Blah, blah, blah. I'll be here next year. I think Dan Mullen actually did that while at Mississippi State, I think. That's been so long ago. I can't remember if he did it then or it had to have been, because I can't imagine it being a big deal when he was the coordinator at Florida when they were asking him about the Mississippi State job. So I can't imagine that being the case. So I think that was when he was at Mississippi State. And I'm almost positive that Dan that Mullen. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. I'm almost positive that happened with him at Mississippi State. I tried to briefly look it up. I couldn't find it. So yeah. What's up, Ty? Hope you're doing good, brother. I'm doing well. Thanks a lot. That's the most I'm leaving answer ever, says Megan. So this is interesting because there's two ways of looking at this. Is he really going to leave UNLV after just a single season? Is he really going to do that? Could that not have a mark on his reputation, whatever it may be? I mean, I know he worked in the media for a little bit after, I think shortly after Florida, right? That was probably a part of his contract because that's like the thing now. You got to put that in their contract. You either go coach somewhere for a certain amount of salary dollars, or you go work with a network or something. It's so weird how they the language they use in these contracts. It's so bizarre. But anyways, that's Dan Mullen talking about the Arkansas job. I'll tell you what else is fascinating and why this is a interesting topic. We got Vegas odds. I don't know if you guys have seen the Vegas odds yet or not. Dan Mullen is not the odds-on favorite according to Vegas. And I went around, looked at everywhere I could, pulled up the AI. I also went to AI as well and asked, like, who's the odds-on favorite right now to be the coach? Who's number one? And with 2-1 odds, it's James Franklin. So, yeah, we've actually had some pretty interesting movement here, right? When you're talking about Franklin getting fired from Penn State, right? I would not have thought, I would not think he would be number one. And we know how this works too. This could literally change tonight as we speak, right? Vegas moves quick. These odds move quick. This could already be, hell, that might already be out of date. But it is interesting that today, and this was today when this was checked though. I mean, not even but a few hours ago, he is the odds-on favorite to be the next Razorback head coach. 2-1 odds. Rhett Lashley, 3-1 odds in second place. Ryan Silverfield, 4-1 odds. John Summerall, 6-1 odds. Gus Malzahn, 8-1. Gundy, 8-1. Bobby Petrino at 9-1 odds. Now, this is where I'm wondering if AI is tripping. There is no way in hell it's 9-1 odds. With Eric Morris at a 14-1 odds and Jeff Traylor at 14-1 odds. And to be honest with you, Jeff Traylor, I would expect to be a little higher. I would expect him to be like in the top 8, just simply because of his relationship here, the fact that the guy did do pretty well at UTSA for a little bit. You kind of wonder if his shine is, I think it has. I think it's worn off a little bit. That doesn't mean he can't be a great coach elsewhere. Just he feels like a permanent, until he has like just a couple of back-to-back incredible years at UTSA. Like I think he's stuck there. But anyways, they give him 14-1 odds. But James Franklin is the 2-1 odds favorite right now. I mean, this is, I was shocked by that. When I saw that, now you guys know what I tend to do, on my day off, I'm doing a little bit of research for the next day. Typically the day of is when I do the most amount of research on all these topics. I'm trying to push it to, you can ask Travis and Tim. I'm like texting them, here's some things we're going to talk about, whatever, kind of going down a list. When I saw this, my jaw damn near hit the floor. 2-1 odds right now to be the next head coach, James Franklin. I don't think when the dust settles, I don't think that'll be the case. But Petrino being 9-1 and Rhett Lashley being 3-1, and there's so much smoke that so we heard all this going all the way back to when Feinbaum was talking about Lashley as if, oh, yeah, no, he's meddling. We've talked about this off and on over the last several weeks since Paul Feinbaum made that crazy announcement. Does Paul Feinbaum need to clickbait like that? Like, that's my thing. Does he have a reputation for doing that? I mean, I'm asking for the people who watch Paul Feinbaum. That was still wild to me. But, yeah, I if it's true with Rhett and the smoke going back and forth. And then now it's, well, no, Arkansas's kind of moved on and he's turned them down. And there's still people in certain corners that you would think are pretty well connected are saying, no, Rhett's still kind of on the radar here. And this is why firing a coach this early, we're going to be all over the place on this search. And again, Hunter Yurachek is he's up against it. His search committee, all this stuff that's like, he's up against it. And he knows that. And there's got to be a plan in place. He's going to have to take to the board or the chancellor, whoever the hell, maybe he's got to go talk to Frank Fletcher. I have no idea. I'm assuming it's the board. Of course it is. He's got to have a plan of action. And he's got to have a narrowed down list of names. And that's what we're waiting on right now. We won't know those names, but that's what we're waiting on to hear about him. Someone's going to track that plane flying down to Little Rock. And then, of course, we're going to know a little bit beforehand. And then we're going to expect Hunter to probably talk to the media. Maybe not. Hell, he might just go to Twitter and say, hey, look, okay, there is a plan of action in place. That's what we want to hear. And I think that's what the Board of Trustees want to hear when he flies down there and talks to him. I think there's a timeline given. Again, Courtney, who we're going to talk to at 8, is going to fill us in or get us up to date and kind of remind us, because there's things that there's been so much, happening in the last just 2-3 weeks. It's like you forget things slip. You're like, oh man, especially when you take as many notes and do as much as I do as far as trying to script out these shows, you tend to just forget stuff because there's so much. So yeah, James Franklin 2-1 odds. I just don't. I feel like right now with we just heard that there's a strong possibility that Billy Napier, this might be his last weekend, right? They I forgot who they play, and then they're going into a bye week. So we know what Arkansas did with Sam Pittman, and Florida could be doing the exact same thing with Napier, right? Getting ready for that bye week and making the change right then and there. And so we'll have to, of course, we're going to have to sit on our hands and figure this thing out together. But Ty, Rhett doesn't want the smoke. He's running scared, doesn't think he can handle the Arkansas job. Yeah. Well, I don't know about all that. Hog Wild. I swear this he reminds me of somebody. I love my Hogs, but damn, the upper administration doesn't care to put the money up to go get a coach. All these coaches that have been named have came by the media. Well, I mean, that's generally how these things work. Hog Wild. That's how this works. And that's why I say towards the end of the year, and I'm not trying to like dump on the local media. I'm not trying to dump on anyone here. Just the way that this has worked in the past, it's always someone who you had no idea was keeping up with the Razorback coaching search, and they're high up with maybe like they're a well-known writer for On3, or hell, it could be Chris Lowe. It could be, someone like that. And all of a sudden they're going to have, oh yeah, no, we have this information now. This is your guy. And even sometimes they get it wrong. I'm definitely not saying they're always right, but that's typically how these things go. And then they can confirm, that makes me a sad panda. What does the Dan Mullen video, or what are we talking about here? Hey, make sure you guys like, share, hit the subscribe button again, please. I'd greatly appreciate it. Sharing is caring. And feel free to retweet the Tusk Talk Twitter or X. Sorry, no, I'm not supposed to say that. Retweet Tusk Talk. Here in not long, here in about 15 minutes, we're going to have on the individual responsible for the Pigpen Collective. I know John Hawes is excited about this. He's been retweeting and trying to get the word out. So we're gonna bring him. I'm gonna send him the link here in just a second, and we'll get him in here. We've got a lot to cover though. All right, you guys tell me, and this will be the post live question of the day. I want to know. Well, I've got like 3 different ways I could go with this, because we've already kind of talked about James Franklin before. Like we had you, I think that was Monday, right? We were going to have you grade James Franklin. What do we want to go with an odds thing? Do you agree? How about that? Do you agree with these odds as they stand with James Franklin at 2-1, Rhett Lashley 3-1, and Ryan Silverfield 4-1 odds? Some are all at 6-1. Do you agree with that? There, we can do that. How about that? We'll just do you agree with that? Do you think that that's for? Do you buy that? I mean, whether I guess we do or don't, it's just whatever Vegas says, right? Isn't that how this works? Let's. Where are we going? Where's it at? Oh, by the way, on James Franklin here, really quick. This is from Front Office Sports. James Franklin is required to look for another job in coaching or broadcasting, according to a copy of his Penn State contract obtained by FOS. If Franklin's new job pays him less than $8 million owed annually through 2031, Penn State only owes him the difference. We already mentioned that this came from Matt Hayes on the Billy Napier situation down at Florida. Matt Hayes from USA Today Sports. Sources: Florida AD Scott Strickland met with influential boosters Tuesday. The result: Gators coach Billy Napier could be fired as soon as this weekend. Damn, son, that's rough. That's rough. Terster says, who we gonna get? That's a good question. What are BP's odds? Well, according to this, now this is the AI. I don't know how much of this is just AI pulling stuff off the wall. They give Mike Gundy 8-1 odds. They give Bobby Petrino 9-1 odds. I don't buy that. No way in hell. Like that at minimum should be 5-1 odds for Petrino. At minimum, right? I mean, do you guys maybe there you go. I tell you what, this is just going to be a free for all post-game live or post-live show question. What should his odds be? What should Bobby Petrino's odds be? There you go. Just answer one of those two questions. 9-1. Huh. Okay. Trailer at 14-1. Eric Moore's 14-1. Now, I'm not a gambler. I don't like a lot of this stuff is foreign language to me. I don't online gamble. I might play the slots. That's about as much gambling. Guys like blackjack and all that stuff. I don't know. I was not raised like my dad. God bless him. Good old Arky 56, but he was quite the he was, raised me Baptist, and we don't drink alcohol. Whoops. I failed that part. We don't smoke tobacco, and we don't, there's certain things you're just not supposed to do, right? I know here, I'm in Arkansas. You guys are too. You know all about that Baptist life. You know what's up. The other thing you don't do is you don't gamble. And I did not grow up gambling. And I tried to avoid people that gambled. So I don't know. You tell me, does this make sense to you, these odds? You guys tell me, the experts that gamble, that do all this stuff online, does that make sense to you? Because it doesn't me. That's wild. Mike Gundy, no way. When Arizona freezes over, it says Arizona 10. What's going on, man? Bates says 3-1. So what are you talking about? Petrino? Is that what you're saying there? No, you says 3-1. So you two are saying Petrino should be 3-1. Okay. Yeah. All right. Hey, Hoops is right around the corner. Man, we're moving on up. Did you guys catch Did you guys catch Coach Cal? This is pretty great. This is him talking about his Hogs.
Scrimmaged Sunday in Hot Springs. I'm not going to say it was a debacle, but what would be the next word up from debacle? We got a ways to go. I got a good group, but we got a ways to go to be what people think we're going to be. Well, when he became the point guard, we became better as a team. We just did, and everybody knew it.
Yeah. So, anyways, right there I was messing around with some settings. Did you listen to this again?
The group, but we got a ways to go to be what people think we're going to be. Well,
that's him addressing rat poison. That's Cal that's him addressing rat poison. That's what that is. That's what that is. There, come on, man. You don't schedule this kind of schedule. You don't have that extra little pep in your step that you've had. I mean, you could see it a little bit. He is way more positive at this point than he was a year ago, right? Compared to a year ago. We still got a ways to go. What does that mean exactly? To be like, I think he does address it, like to be as good as people want us to be and all that, right? But still, come on, Cal. Come on now.
When he became the
Okay, and here's Wagner. The exact question, I forget exactly what it was, but it was something along the lines of just Wagner. Like, what are you looking for in Wagner in 25?
point guard, we became better as a team. We just did, and everybody knew it. Now I want him to be more aggressive offensively. I want him to shoot balls that he has. They go under ball screen, shoot it. They go under a dribble handoff, shoot the ball. You come down in transition, they back away, shoot the ball. That means get in the gym and get more confidence. I can't build it. He can do it. He's done it games, and now he is as good a kid as I've ever coached, works as hard as anybody I've ever coached, and the breakthrough is all within himself. And it's there now, just, it's time to go show it all. So I'm just happy he's still with me and I'm coaching him. Love being around him every day. Well,
I'm sorry I didn't tell you what this is the SEC media days. This is what this is what he had to say.
Still looking for it. You have to have a post presence or your team's a fraud. It doesn't mean you just play. All these guys that have the answer to how you play the game of basketball, you still have to be able to throw it to a guy in the post at times to get a free basket. We did it with Jonas at the end of the year, which is why we advanced. So I'm looking at this group and saying, who do we throw it to here? We don't have to throw it 50 times, but there are times we got to get a free basket. We're not making any shots. So that's what we want. We're still looking for it. We should be a terrific rebounding team, both on defense and offense. Right now, we're not. I just told Seth, we did an inter squad, and there were 15 clips where a shot was taken, and not one guy went to rebound offensively. Well, that can't be who we are. Don't know.
Oh, I love hearing him talk about that, though. That was something last year. Like, we wanted to see Arkansas rack up the boards, get more second chance opportunities from offensive rebounding. There were games where it was just abysmal. It was bad. I forgot where Arkansas ended up being ranked, but it was really bad. And this isn't, I don't know how much of this is him just saying up to my standard without him actually saying this isn't up to my standard. But if he's just talking about in general, like we're still not, we're not trying to crash the boards here. That's not what you want to hear. I'm not trying to crash your party on the Razorbacks, by the way. It's not what this is. But I think he kind of drops little tidbits of truth here and there. And there's things that I seem to remember last year going into the season that he talked about that ended up like you started to see it over the course of the next several games. Like, oh, that's what he meant when he said that X amount of weeks ago. Okay. So there's there's truths in there, right? He's going to be a little vague. He doesn't want to give away too much.
Until you get the guy. And you can think what you want, and then you coach him. And it's got to be all three, physically, which includes the athletic part, being in great condition, and it takes mentally, are you strong enough for the ups and downs of what we're doing? And then the third thing is your skill level to the level that they're going to want to see. And I tell these guys, it's not what you want to show. It's what they want to see. And you know what? Some guys have it faster, quicker. We've had guys drafted scoring 9 points. As a matter of fact, I think Daniel Orton scored 3 points a game, was drafted in the first round. None of that matters. Where you're ranked, the points, it's what you do. Does it transfer?
Potential is what helps, right? It's the potential part of it that's just that makes it up for the NBA. All right, we've got about 5 more minutes here before we bring on Peyton Dunn. So we'll give that just a few more minutes here. Brazile, this is what he had to say about Brazile. You got to do this one by one here. Where's it at? Ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I'm loving it. Here it is.
You saw it. He smiled. I walk in and I say, finally, I can see you smiling. I've never seen your smile. I want him to have a ball playing. Listen, he should be a double-double with 4 to 5 blocks every game. And if he's not giving us what he's capable of giving us.
Could not agree more, man. Brazile, I don't know about double-doubles every night, but Brazile's got to be, what did he average last year? 5 boards. Well, like 7 points or something, 6 or 7 points. And I realized too, there's the injury thing and whether or not he's been timid. If Brazile comes through this year, I feel like this season could be. I feel like this could be really special with everything that's also obviously, with DJ Wagner and Richmond and you got Acuff and the transfers. I mean, there's so much about this team moving forward in 25. It just, golly, you could feel the magic, baby. I'm excited, dude. I'm so excited for basketball. Every time someone wants to talk some hoops, I'm like, bro, I cannot wait. And we're going over like the spreadsheets and last year's numbers and some of the analytics and looking into the portal and looking at the overall roster. I get excited. I wish I could get this excited about football. I haven't, and sadly for a while, and I hope that changes with this coaching search. But all right. It is, we got about 4 minutes. I wanted to, before we bring him on, I wanted to get in on Arkansas and Texas A&M really quick. Arkansas projected wins 89%. This is from K Ford Ratings. 89% likely to win 3 games total, 57% 4 games, and then 23 at 5% at 6, and then 1% at 7. 7 wins. Yeah, Arkansas, this is a fascinating game. I would love to break this. Hell, I might just bring in Peyton and get him in on the conversation while we're also talking about his collective. So we might just do that. But I know this much. You guys keep telling me Texas A&M is they're elite on defense, right? Well, I know I've watched them this year, and I've not thought of their elite on defense has not come to mind. They have elite players on defense. They have guys in that front 7 that could really cause issues with this offense, given the Razorbacks' history on offense, given Taylor Green's history on offense. Like, shutting down this offense, shutting it down completely would be impressive. Containing it wouldn't blow my mind. It wouldn't blow my mind. A&M's got players. I mean, they've got absolute ballers. There's no doubt about it. They've got some great pieces, and they had to replace some pieces up front on the defensive line. And they did that to a degree. I don't think they're as good as they were last year on defense. However, they're better on offense. Now, before you say, Ty, no, they're great on defense. Explosive plays given up in so far, and this is 20-plus yards. Arkansas's dead last. Texas A&M is only 3 spots above them. So you guys keep telling me they're like elite, and I'm like, no, I don't think they are. I've watched them. They've got elite pieces. They could really shut Arkansas down. But given how fragile these guys are mentally, where they just let go of the freaking rope, Notre Dame, case in point, they should never have held Arkansas the way they did, and yet they did. Could that happen again against A&M? Sure. A&M's defense is not elite. It's okay. Again, their front 7 can give you problems. Their secondary's got some issues. They don't have anyone. They've got one defensive end right now that's listed on the top 10 on Mel Kiper's NFL draft board at that given position. There's one player. They've got, of course, we know their running back's going to be out. They've got some. They're a little dinged up here and there. A&M. This will be an interesting game. I'll wait to tell you what I think happens, but I want to bring on Peyton Dunn. Right there's the man.
How's it going?
What's up, man? He runs Pigpen Collective. He's been making the media rounds. Again, I know John Haas is really excited about this. A couple other people were texting me about this. Really excited to have you on, man. First off, just how you doing? Let's just start there.
I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. I've been pretty busy today with normal life stuff and, answering the fans and everybody that seen Fox 16 last night. So,
yeah, I was going to say, I bet you're pretty busy. Are you wearing a hockey? Are you wearing the Razorback?
Yeah. I got this made a couple of years ago. If you go to my Instagram, it's probably what I wear to every game. It's honestly because it's pretty warm. And I mean, I love it. It's like the custom made jersey. It was like $100.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm also trying to raise money for the team right now. So it's like, why not wear their jersey
There you go.
on the show? Give them a shout out.
I like that. I've had opportunities to go watch them play, and I just, they play down at the Jones Center in Springdale. I don't know why I don't go down there and watch them. All right, let's get into this. You started Pigpen Collective. Why don't you start by just introducing yourself really quick? Just who are what's your? I know you're a diehard Razorback fan, but if you just want to kind of get us started on who you are and why you started this.
All right. So first, my name's Peyton Dunn. I'm from a small town in Arkansas called Bradford. Went to Harding University. I know some people today kind of called that, oh, you didn't go to the university. I just say, what about people that didn't go to college? Can they not be Hog fans too? It's just part of being from around Arkansas. But I just got out of active duty. I did like 2 years. I'm in the Guard. So now I'm back in the Guard. I just started a new job at Massey Services. It's out of Nashville. It's kind of where I landed because I was at Fort Campbell last, found a woman and she took me on down to Nashville. Nashville ain't that bad, but, if this takes off, of course, I'll move back to Arkansas and get this up and running more. But it's kind of got to pay me something first, before I could just leave my job in comfort of what I got here in Tennessee. So.
Okay. Well, so right now, and I was going to pull the collective up on my screen here. Share screen. Where are you at? There it is. Pigpen Collective. Boom. Where does the collective stand currently? Like, do you feel comfortable talking about that? Like, where does it stand currently? Like, how many? Have you had some people sign up? How much curiosity? Have any players reached out or former players? Anyone reached out, try to help you out with this?
So I think I accidentally missed why I started the collective part of that question a minute ago, but I'll answer this one. We've raised a little north of $300 right now, but a lot of that's reoccurring, so it'd be $300+ a month. I mean, we're a little bit above that. Like 2 orders came in as I was sitting in the waiting line to get in here on the show. We have like 38 members around, I'd say roughly. We'll just say 30 members. I've reached out personally to some players. Funny enough, Izzy Higginbottom, I reached out to her, and she was very receptive. She's a GA over at Oklahoma State right now, so she had to see how that would work out, working for them. But then I woke up the next day, and I guess she got spooked and thought this wasn't legit, and that now she's not communicating anymore. So a little bit of the transparency part for you.
Uh-oh. Well, what is right now, what would you say is the biggest challenge that you face right now for doing this?
Well, speaking to that, it's trying to look as legitimate as possible. I know it's like people are like, oh, there's a 24-year-old guy. And, it's like, how do we put trust in him? But to be honest, no one has an NIL degree. Everybody that's, doing NIL stuff is just kind of winging it too. I mean, this is the reason the university's on try number 3 if they come out with something else. So that'd be my argument.
We know that they shut down Edge, and I think they had like 3 different directors or something. I mean, it's just been, wherever you want to point blame to, it's just not been handled well. And we know that the AD at Arkansas has been a little, he's pushed back a little bit on the NIL during its early days when it was forming, and there was certainly a little bit of, it just seemed hesitant. Like the U of A was hesitant to a degree, despite, announcing the JB Hunt deal. I forgot what it was called a few 3 or 4 years ago, whenever they announced that. I was looking here, you've got a compliance page up. Now you reached out to the U of A. Did they tell you should probably do this, or was this just your own?
This is from the university. They sent me this after the conversation and said, here's like the flow chart of what you need to go through. And this is where you like send the deal in to make sure it's legit and doesn't break any compliance policies.
So when you called, what was their response? How did the U of A respond to you? Was it just like, yeah, we expected this, or
I don't think they expected it at all. It was pretty like they were surprised, like, oh, you're doing that? Well, yeah, we love the idea, but it's like, oh, someone's actually doing something. Like that was kind of like my reaction to their conversation. So.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, this is a good idea though. I mean, posting the compliance part of this is a really good idea. Here's the donation page here. So okay, help me clear this up. I swear I heard you could sign up for $1.
Like,
Did I hear that right?
Yeah, the memberships.
Okay, that's just the memberships. But then
That's just donations. Like, hey, I want to give more than what the monthly is. Like, here, I'm going to go give more. I don't get to see this part of the page much because I have like more of the editing side. But this is for like, hey, you want to give more than the memberships. But if you hit on memberships, there you got all the memberships.
Yeah, I was looking at this the other day when we were talking about it on the live. What was that, Monday or last Wednesday? I can't remember. They all blend together. But I did. Yeah, there it is. The $1 pledge right there. All right. So someone's already, and I had this actually on my list of things to ask. Are you doing this by yourself? Is it just you?
I have a friend who's also on the company. But yeah, it's pretty much just me right now. I have a lot of people reaching out. I got a resume the other day, and I just had to tell them, I was like, I can't pay you right now, but it's appreciated. If you're willing to work for free, you can come over here. But I have a lot of people donating their time to help out.
What so you're gonna, and we have to get this part out of the way. I've already seen a little bit of people saying, well, I don't want to pay, I don't want to give him 10%. You do keep 10%, right? For the operational cost and everything. Is that right? It's 10%.
Yeah, 10% is operational costs. I didn't even know the deal that the university had before, where it was like 15%. But when I say operational costs, like the Twitter now has a blue check mark to seem more legit. That's monthly. The website itself costs $50-ish a month to keep up, and then there's a yearly for the domain fee. Advertisements cost some money. We're gonna have to pay an attorney to write a contract. I've had people hit me up so we can kind of see what that's going to look like. I've had 2 sports firms reach out today, and we had like a long conversation. But they're going to take a percentage of money, right? So I don't want that to come out of the 90%. And to be honest, like that 10% is almost gone before I would ever even touch a dime.
Yeah, I keep getting pinged about YouTube. Yeah, so YouTube's having problems. I do, obviously I have no power over that. I've been DM'd about it, and I've got text messages about it. I guess the YouTube links aren't working correctly. I do apologize. Hopefully YouTube gets it fixed. I guess there's an outage or something. So I'm getting like hit up as we're doing this. I'm sorry if I seem a little bit distracted, but people are like, what's going on? So yeah, the operational cost, like I honestly, I think that's fair. I don't have any issue with you. Like you should, you're doing this mostly by yourself. This is the question too. And I maybe didn't put it in the notes there that I sent you, but, see if I can find it. Challenges. So you are transparent on all this. You get to pick what sports this is going to, or where this is going, or what player gets the money.
So I was asked this question on the Hog Wild podcast too. I'll give you the same, kind of the same answer. I don't have it written down, but
okay.
Let's just say you want to support Talon, right?
Yeah.
You can go to the donations and you can put however much you want, and you can leave like a comment or an email attached because the payment is the same.
Okay.
So if you go down to the questions, like I'm the only one looking at it right now, right? I'm going to see it. Just say, hey, we want this to go to this athlete. A minimum NIL, like an NIL deal is usually over $600. The thing is like if you go to the general fund and you're only given $20 a month, you're never going to make an actual NIL deal by yourself. Like if someone's going to come out here, let's say Guatney Chevrolet is like, hey, we want to give Talon Green $10,000 to come and put them on a billboard. All right.
Okay.
Their $10,000 can definitely go to that one player. I have thought about making the memberships, like say you want to be a specific sport instead of going to the general fund. We can have a football sub $20 or $1. We can have a basketball and so on. So you can just give to those specific funds. But honestly, it's going to be pretty close to the revenue share. Like most of the money is going to go to football. There's going to be money for basketball. At first, it's going to be like what, athletic program reaches out. Because like if we're only working with, say, $20,000, it's not really big enough to make much NIL deals over in the three major sports. We just really need to get some players in general. So it might have to be across multiple sports just to get the most volumes of players to show people like, hey, we're using the money to make deals at first.
Okay. Did the U of A offer any help when you called and talked to them about this? I mean, other than obviously the compliance part, but did they offer any kind of guidance, any like recommendations or anything?
So fully transparent, because it got brought up in my conversation with a manager today for a sports firm. He brought up Remy Cofield, and I sent I guess they call themselves the front office. He's got 2 employees. I sent them an email, and I sent the NIL guy for the university an email, and I have yet to get a response. Like, we might not have a lot of money right now, but we still have money. And it's like, you're not going to answer this email to even be curious, like, hey, what's going on? So, yeah, the university has offered really nothing other than out of the compliance office, which I cannot say one complaint about the compliance office, because they've went out of their way to like, hey, this is what you need, even though you're not ready to make a deal. But when you are, here's everything you need.
When did you send that email out to them?
The same day I reached out to the compliance office. So this would have been like 3 days after like we went official. I mean, it would have been like 2 weeks ago.
And so they have 2 weeks and they have not reached out to you.
No.
That's wow. Okay. Maybe they just, I don't know. They're just not taking you seriously. I guess they're not taking you seriously yet. And I would say that, like you said earlier, like that's going to be your challenge, right? Like try to get taken seriously. And I think you should be, because you're already putting the time and energy into this. You've already raised a little bit of money, considering that it's not like you have a built-in audience. It's not like you're partnered up with some huge, like Chuck and Bo or something. You're doing this on your own. And I can understand the U of A maybe being like, whatever, or maybe they're just busy. I mean, it could be that it is the middle of the football season. I know everybody's kind of nervous in Fayetteville lately, but maybe that's just what it is, man. Maybe they're just not taking you seriously yet. And I think you ought to, I really hope you keep going with this. I really do. Because I listen, I know there's going to be, and that's going to be one of my questions here in a second. There's going to be people who don't buy into this until all of a sudden other people start buying into it, right? Like as you grow and as this thing continues to move forward, as long as, maybe you could build a social media presence out of it. And I think you already have. You've been on, I don't know how many shows you've been on now. And I know you were with Courtney Mims. Like you're working a part-time job just trying to get this thing out there. But yeah, I keep it going. Now, here's the question that I have. What do you say to people, or to the people who doubt this? What do you say to them?
So I have 2 responses, and one of them is a question. Ty, what would you do for Arkansas to win a national title in one of the 3 major sports? Like, what would you give up?
Oh, man. I already have kids. I'm kidding. I don't know, man. I know I'd probably give up. I mean, I feel like I'd give up quite a bit.
So
if I knew it guaranteed a national championship, yeah. I don't know what that is exactly, but
I feel like most fans feel that way. And the thing is if you feel that passionate about it, then why are you not doing everything in your power to bring a national championship to Arkansas?
Okay.
That's my first thought. My second thought is, I grew up in the early 2000s, right? Not the 90s or 80s, like most Arkansas fans probably to these days. But I grew up in an Arkansas where, you're growing up and you could be the president. Like Bill Clinton was the president just a couple of years before I was born. A little bit of a culture shock there. You could be a huge music star. You could be the best in country music in Johnny Cash. You could be the best entrepreneur in the world in Sam Walton. And I mean, you could do almost anything you could put your mind to. Like Arkansas was at its peak. You could win national titles. They did it in 94. Mm-hmm. I mean, like to grow up in Arkansas in the early 2000s, you literally thought you could do anything. And I don't know when, but at some point that has changed. And we've went to a state where we just feel sorry for ourselves all the time. Arkansas can't do this. They'll never do this. They'll never do that. Someone in Hope, Arkansas, grew up to be the president, the most powerful person in the world. You're telling me Arkansas can't win a football national title? Like, that guy had the nukes at his fingertip. Like, he controlled the world. And you're telling me that we can't bring a title to Arkansas? Like, you don't have enough state pride anymore. It's just gone. Like, I don't understand it.
Oh man, you touched on something we've talked about here for years. I agree. It feels like the state pride. And I don't know if that's, I don't know what I can't, Peyton Hillis has brought this up before. Just about how, like, if you grew up here, like a high school prospect, right? A high school football prospect. When I was growing up, Houston Nutt was the head coach. When I was in 7th, 8th grade, I think is when he took the job. And we got to see what, Sterner and Anthony Lucas and, we got to see Madre Hill and we got to see this, and it renewed our pride in the football program. And it was all, but it would never like left. It was never like this thing where like we felt like we had to get it back. And of course, Houston Nutt, I think for me, it's one of the reasons why he's one of my favorite head coaches ever at Arkansas, because he could sense that pride and get it out of his players and get it out of the fans. And you're right. It feels like something's changed. And whether that's on Jeff Long as the AD when he was here before, whether that's on the way Petrino left things, whether that's on Mike Anderson for falling short as a head basketball coach, Brett Bielema, if it's failure after failure, Chad Morris and Sam Pittman, the king of vanilla. Like, I don't know what it is. Empathy has, or the complete lack of care in this state when it comes to football. And I've never seen anything like it. And I've talked about this so often, like, kids do not grow up anymore. They're not, I don't know how many kids. Listen, I'm going to tell you something. Little TMI for people. Maybe you don't know this about me. I actually substitute taught in Springdale. Okay. Right adjacent to Fayetteville, Arkansas, right down the road. You know how many kids I saw wearing like Alabama stuff? I mean, I subbed it. And Springdale's a massive district, by the way. It's the largest district in the state of Arkansas. Do you know how often I saw kids? Sure, there were Razorback, there were kids wearing the Razorback stuff. They had stickers, whatever. But I had never seen anything like it before. Oregon T-shirts, Oklahoma. Like, it's just crazy to me. And I also realized, too, Springdale's also pretty heavy with transplants from around the country and what have you. I understand that. But, I still feel like it's just something has changed. Some of the older folks will say, well, it's the internet. Now we have access to all these teams across, ESPN 1 all the way through the Ocho. We have more access to different programs, and we didn't have that growing up. When we were growing up, you had Jefferson Pilot and you had the Razorbacks. That's what you had. If you were lucky enough, you were on, another station. But you're not wrong, man. The passion's gone. I'm right there with you. I want it back. I want it back so bad, and that's why this next head coach is, for me, and I know we say this about every head coaching hire, but it just feels imperative that they get this right. And then maybe we can renew this relationship that Arkansans have with the University of Arkansas, at least with the football program. Basketball, we know it's there. Cal's there. We're juggling balls and, all that. We're happy that that's there with basketball. But this is truly a football state, and they've got to make a change. But in order to do that, Peyton, they've got to be able to afford players.
Facts.
They've got to be able to hitting that 20.5 does not need to be a challenge. It doesn't need to be a challenge the way that it is. And I get it. It is everywhere. Everyone's trying to adjust to it. But you've got to have the players. And I know people want to get into this chicken or the egg conversation. I get that. Like, well, I don't want to donate if they're not winning. And then, I understand that. But at some point, something has to give, man. I mean, if you're looking for a new head coach, Peyton, or you're that head coach and you're wondering, I wonder what their NIL situation's like. I wonder how easy it is for them to hit the 20.5. And you see what Ole Miss is doing. What are they doing at Arkansas? Not a damn thing. Until Peyton Dunn showed up, by God.
But I'll say one thing to that part. It's like they act like kids or future recruits or future coach candidates don't go on Twitter and read Twitter feeds. Like, you don't want to fund this? Like, why would I go play for you if I can't even get like money? Like, you know what I mean? Like kids these days, it's not about what you can do for your country. It's about what the country can do for you now. Like that's the mentality in America and in the state. So it's like kids don't respond to, hey, I'm going to come play for state pride. They respond to the dollar sign. And until we do something different, we're going to have the dollar sign. And if Ole Miss can whip out the dollar and get Arkansas players that were born and raised in Arkansas to go play for Ole Miss, which I'd rather die before I did that, then we got a way bigger issue. Like it's just a point of principle at this point.
Yeah.
Like, and they just bend over backwards whenever Ole Miss says, "Hey, we need money," and then they're like, "Where do we send it?" So it's like we are already 3 years behind in NIL, and we got to do something. Like to be having this conversation in 2025 when most programs were having it in 2021 is absurd.
It is. I couldn't agree more, man. I mean, it really is. I have been on the side before where I've told fans, speak with your wallet. Then it was about buying merchandise and going to games. If you're really upset, don't do that. But this NIL thing is different. Like you've got to have it. You got to have funds. You got to have the money to buy these players to get better. You just do. I understand being pissed off. And I also understand like wanting transparency too. And let's be real, as the government prints more and more dollars, your dollars going down in value, and by God, your groceries are more expensive. Gas is more expensive. Although I did see gas is dropping a little bit lately. I get that. Times are not as easy as they were maybe 6 years ago or whatever in terms of just the economy and all that. But man, I don't know. $1. I don't know, man. This mentality that people have accepted that it's a waste of money, then this thing will never get fixed. This will never get fixed. Now, I know Hunter or whoever the hell the next AD is going to be, if Hunter isn't sticking around or if he gets fired, whatever, I know they've got a job to do raising that 20.5. But I think, again, Peyton, I think this is the right step in the right direction, man. I hope this continues to grow. And I urge everybody, I'm going to put this link. I'm probably giving you the store, but whatever. I'm going to put this link in the comment section. So go check it out. I should have done that earlier. What's up, Gary? How you doing, man? If you're thinking about, if you're wanting a super chat or whatever, instead go to Pigpen Collective. Go to Pigpen Collective. Go drop $1. Go drop $5, $10, whatever. Go sign up. Go check it out. Support our boy here, man. He just wants what's best for Arkansas at the end of the day. And I understand, again, some people are going to badmouth and they're going to, I've already seen some of the skepticism on Twitter. And listen, that's fair. But he's trying to do something about it. And I don't know, man. I think that's a big-time tip of the cap to you, sir. I think that's awesome. Before we get off here, Peyton, by the way, Patreon members, we're going to try and go live on Patreon here in a little bit. Not on Patreon. It's going to be a YouTube link because I can't have guests on the actual Patreon site. So I'm going to have to bring Courtney in on using StreamYard, which uses YouTube. But it should be up at 8 p.m. We're going to have Courtney Mims on. We're going to talk about the just kind of what she's hearing as far as the coaching search and everything. But Peyton, I was talking about A&M as you were hopping in here. Do you have any thoughts on the game? Maybe you want to share? I don't know. I know you've been a little distracted with this stuff, but do you have anything on this game? Do you like Arkansas? Are you taking Arkansas to cover the spread? What are your thoughts?
This might be the first game where I'm tempted to bet the under because of the storms coming in. It's going to be raining.
Yeah.
Our defense might be able to keep up with them with, it being a little wet on the turf.
Yeah.
But this is going to be the game I feel like that makes or breaks Bobby Petrino, because if it's raining and, we're 2 and whatever, it's like, am I going to get out and get wet for this team? I feel like that's what most fans are thinking right now. And if there's nobody in the stands, it's going to be deafening. And if they go out and lose this game by more than a touchdown, I think that's going to be like the nail in the coffin for him. I don't see how you bounce back.
You talk about the rain. What comes to mind for me when we're talking about the field being wet? Fumbling the football.
Could happen too.
I mean, I feel like now that ought to be a bet. That should be a line here. Like, how many fumbles for Arkansas in this game because of the rain? They don't need the ball to be wet, man. They just fumble the ball anyways. I mean, I was starting to go in on a rant. The spread is still in favor of A&M at 7.5. This is another really tough game for me to predict. I thought Tennessee was going to smoke Arkansas. I'm not even going to lie. I thought with all the changes on defense, without Sam Pittman, yeah, you can say what you want about Pitt and how the players let go against Notre Dame, fair enough. I kind of thought, well, now the guy that recruited them, got them out of the portal, talked with all their families. They got to know this guy. Well, he's gone. And this Petrino guy, who everyone knows, fans ought to know by now, there are certainly some players and people that worked in and around the football program who did not like the guy. And so that's now your head coach. So I thought, this is going to be bad. This is going to be a blowout. And they actually showed me something, man. I was actually impressed with that. The weather could be a factor here. And I was actually going to check the forecast for Saturday. I think, I saw rain. Right now it's at 55%. And we'll see. We'll have to keep an eye on that because that could be a huge factor, not in Arkansas's favor, I wouldn't think. I'm going to make a bet here, or I'm not a bet, but I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm taking Arkansas to not only cover the spread, I'm taking Arkansas to win this game. I know some people who've watched me long enough are probably a little surprised by that. Petrino does have a very impressive record against A&M. While I understand that was a different time and a different era at two different schools when he was at Louisville and Arkansas. I get that. That was a while ago. There's just sometimes those things stick. I mean, just look at Mizzou and Arkansas, or hell, look at Texas A&M and Arkansas, right? Like Texas A&M has just had Arkansas's number. Maybe Petrino is kind of the, maybe I don't know, luck of the Irish, whatever. Is he Irish? He looks Irish. He looks like he's like 5. He's like up to here on me. So he, maybe that's what it is here. I also don't think A&M's defense, I'm not buying in on A&M's defense as being like elite. However, like I said, they have enough talent, speed, and athleticism to give Taylor Green just an awful day. And we could see a repeat of Notre Dame. That doesn't make A&M great on defense. That just means Arkansas is going to Arkansas, really. So I think I do like Arkansas to cover the spread and win the game. Now, I will even give you a score, and I'm going to be way off. We all know I will be, but I'm feeling 27-20. I think Arkansas gets this by 7. Again, there's just parts of that A&M defense I've watched, and I'm just like, this is not a playoff defense. It's just not. The offense is good. Reed is definitely going in the right direction as a quarterback in this league. 1,490 yards, so just about 1,500 yards passing. We know he can run. We know they're without Moss. Le'Veon Moss is going to miss quite a bit of time, it sounds like. He was their leading rusher at 389 yards. Washington, listen, if there's one thing that gives me a lot of hope, it's how well Arkansas ran the ball and how often they ran the ball last week. We've been begging for this. Mike Washington ran the ball 19 times. Braylon Russell at 8 for 47. I think he would have had more, but he got hurt or he's dinged up. I think he was on the sidelines limping or something. I don't know. But they still ran the ball for 240 yards, although Tennessee's run defense is not – their front seven is not what A&M's front seven is. If Arkansas can contain the pass rush of A&M, which is going to be a challenge, and Taylor Green's able to slip loose a couple of times, make some plays with his feet. They don't find themselves in these 3rd and 15, 3rd and 12, 3rd and long scenarios over and over and over again. This could be an interesting game. And again, I think Arkansas could win it. I think Arkansas playing poorly at home. I hope that leaves with all the way down to Hot Springs following Sam Pittman. Pittman could not win games at home. He coached his worst games at home, as it seemed like. I'm hoping with Bobby that changes. At the end of the day, this is his team. I get that. Sam's team. I mean, so maybe that mentality is still here, and they do show up and they look like crap. But anything could happen. This really is a dice roll game. Anything could happen. I mean that. A&M could walk in here and blow Arkansas out, and it wouldn't shock me. But I am taking Arkansas. I'm taking Arkansas to win this game. I feel like this is the first time in weeks I've done that, and it feels kind of good, actually. So
if you were going to win a home game, I'd say this is the one you want to win. Like I don't like A&M, and it's like I could care less if we beat Auburn. I could care less if we beat Mississippi State because I feel like we should. I feel like A&M's got the finances where it's like, okay, this is an opponent that, I could get in the ring with, and I'm looking eye to eye as a an adversary that's due respect. So
yeah. Well, they've, last year, as turnover prone as Arkansas was last year, this was a ball game. This was absolutely a ball game last year. And I feel like Arkansas's offense is even better than a year ago. A&M's defense is not as good as it was a year ago, although, again, I get it. They've got elite players. Arkansas's defense is just, I don't know, man. Who knows what to expect from these guys? This really could be like a 42-40 game, really. I mean, it could be more points on the field. I just kind of wonder if they're not looking at this the same way. Again, they were able to slow these guys down last year, and they've got a lot of the same personnel, at least with Reed. And we know, like I said, the running back's out. But something tells me it's going to be like a 7-point game. And 27-20, that might be too low. I don't know. And like I said, it could be Notre Dame all over again. And I'm not going to be shocked whatever happens. I think the most surprising outcome would be Arkansas beating the crap out of A&M. That would probably shock me. But Scott says, dang old son, Ty taking Arkansas. I know. Feels like it's been a minute. Feels good, but I hope they can live up to it.
Like, if you only looked at Arkansas's conference games and you didn't know what they did in the non-conference, you'd be like, oh my word, we're like 2 possessions away from beating the number 4 team and the number 11 team. So
on the road, so I don't know. That's definitely part of it. We could go into more, but we're probably gonna end this thing right here because I'm getting dinged half to death here, and I know I've got to do the Courtney Mims interview here in about half an hour. Man, I do appreciate you taking a little time and hanging out with us, Peyton. We're gonna be keeping up with you. I'm sure we're gonna have you on again. Thank you so much for stopping by, man.
Hey, thank you for having me on and giving me a platform to talk about the collective. One more thing, it's like we do have a giveaway. It's for Auburn tickets on the opposing 50-yard line.
Oh, wow.
You got to repost, you got to follow one of our accounts, and then you got to join the Dollar Pledge Club. But I did buy these tickets. They were still pretty expensive for what the football team's doing. But next time, if this one goes well and we get some more people in here, I think we could do a Kentucky giveaway possibly. Ooh. So Kentucky Hoops giveaway. So that'd probably be the next one.
That would be huge. Getting some Kentucky tickets. That'd be awesome. Some lucky fan get an opportunity at those. I just got a DM from Courtney. She wants to go live a little early. She wants to go live at 7:45. So I guess we are going to have to hang it up here. Again, appreciate you, Peyton. Shout out to Direct Service Overhead, the Garage Door Company. Same-day services, quality parts, affordable outcomes, better than the best in all of Central Arkansas. Give them a call today at 501-244-3667 or check out their link that's provided for you down below. Again, I apologize for YouTube being all wacky tonight, but I do appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Shout out to Tusk Talk with Ty Patreon supporters. And yeah, let's continue to grow Patreon as well. I appreciate each and every one of you. Peyton. Oh, he hung up. All right. I was going to say, Peyton, so long. That's going to be it. And I will, I'll see you guys in Patreon supporters. I'll see you here in just a few minutes. You guys have a good night if you're unable to make it. Again, sign up for Patreon. You'll get a shot at you will get a shot at winning a card, and you can join us in that live. All right. I'll see you guys in the Patreon live. That link will be provided for you in the Patreon discussion page, by the way, for those of you that are there. So, all right. I'll see you over there.